three-day spectacle of running, throwing, and jumping excellence with action on the track tonight. And then tomorrow night, we'll be taking over downtown Memphis in a street-style track and field event to surely thrill all who witness. We may be at home of the blues, but in the end, who will be singing them and who will be celebrating victory? Caitlin, welcome to the show. What are you most looking forward to over the next couple of days?
Thank you for having me here, Mark. I am excited for two things. One, I get to watch Quincy Wilson put all of his work together today. I've been training with the kid for 2 years, and let me tell you something, he's got a fire under his belt that he's ready to show the whole world. And then also, Donovan Brazier, I will never get over the run that he had last year, making it all the way to the World Championships. And I would have hoped that he came out with a victory on top, but it's okay because I still got faith in him. So those are my two biggest ones for tonight.
I had the chance to talk to Donovan a little bit last night, and just such a great guy, and it was so great that he was able to come on kind of a last minute. But we've got some great competitions here. We've got competitions within competitions. We've got some unique events. We've got I guess they're calling it a triathlon, but we'll call it a combined event where they're doing almost kind of a micro decathlon. And then the real big story as well is going to be that World Tour Championship $50,000 prize on the men's side. And it's going to come down to, looks like a couple of athletes, and we're excited to see how that turns out.
And I can see one of them right now setting up the hurdles. Jamal Britt is one of the main ones in the running for that 50K. So we'll see how well he does today. He's been kicking a lot of butt this year.
And so speaking of that Tour Championship, we already are aware that Valerie Syon, the two-time Olympic gold medalist in the discus, has already locked up the inaugural Tour Women's Championship, claiming that $50,000 prize with dominant victories, including Oklahoma Throw Series, Ironwood Classic, and the USATF LA Grand Prix. But it looks like it will be coming down between Jordan Geist in the shot put and Jamal Britt in the 110-meter hurdles. Will be battling out on the men's side for that $50,000 prize, being awarded most likely to one of those two athletes. We got some other scenarios, some other athletes, if they have absolutely miracle performances, maybe they can have a say in it. But there's several scenarios how each one of them can win based on points earned in each of their respective events. For instance, if Jordan equals his personal best in the throw of 22:25, this is just an example, then Jamal would have to run only about 13:05 to take the victory. And that's well within his range. The other scenario would be if Jordan throws something like in the range of, like, say, 23 meters. You can see here on the screen some of these projected marks here on the app here. If Jordan was to throw something like 23 meters, Jamal would have to equal his personal best, which he set last weekend at the pre-classic, running 12:86. So there's different scenarios involved in this, depending on how each of them do. Now, the interesting thing is that Britt will already be done before Jordan finishes his throw. So as soon as the hurdles are over, Jordan will already know what he needs to throw to get $50,000.
Going to make it exciting.
Quite a good incentive. And there's also there's wind factor involved, which we do have some wind here today. So that factors in the 110 hurdles as well, based on how many points Jamal will get based on his time and everything. So there's a bunch of different scenarios out there. And again, we mentioned there's some outside players. Roger Stern in the shot put, Tate Taylor in the 100 or the 200, Jamal Marshall in the 110 hurdles, Chris Bailey in the 400. But all of those athletes would have to have, again, miracle performances if they want to take away that title from Britt or Geist.
I think when we looked at one of the ones last night, somebody was going to have to run 19:29 if they wanted to take away that 50K, which is insane, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're like low 19s or something like that. I mean, there's some crazy scenarios.
19:22, yeah.
12:71 in the hurdles for Jamar. I mean, that would be that would be a crazy time for him. You never know.
I hope we can see these times sometime soon, though, from these athletes. That would be, I mean, why not shake up the sport?
It would be. I mean, I don't want to, say that nobody can do what they want to seek out and do. But as you can see on the screen here now, we've got the men's discus is off and underway. We've got about 9 athletes in that field. Obviously, the big standout there is from Jamaica there, Roger Stona. Coming in with a PB of 70.66 and a season best of 70.66, so he set this year. So he's got a few meters there on Reggie Jagers, the third, and Joseph Stone, Brian Williams, Chad Wright, Mitch Weber, and Ashton Hearn. So we got 7 athletes. So you can see we're underway there now in our men's discus presented by First Horizon, and we'll be checking in with them as well as the other field events. We're going to have Darrell Hill in a little bit later on, who's going to come in and talk about some of the throws events. I know he's over there coaching right now in the women's shot put, and he'll put on his other hat and come on over here and help commentate with us. We can also see here now on the screen our first running event in our main program is going to be starting in just about approximately 15 to 20 minutes. And they're going to be lined up there, and we're going to have quite an amazing sprint atmosphere out here today. This is mainly a sprint heavy event. So you got to be a little bit happy about that.
I'm totally excited. I feel like I'm completely in my element here today. All the events that I've have tried to do but failed terribly at. I've definitely got a lot of knowledge in a bunch of different areas, and I have been watching all of these women, all of these men, all season, obviously the years before too, and I think that we're gonna have some interesting storylines come out of tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit fish out of water when it comes to being a distance runner, but I mean, obviously, we got the 800s.
Mark, I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. I got you.
We've got the 800s later, but in the meantime, you'll help bridge that gap. I've got a little bit of connection with our hurlers there, being a steeplechaser. But other than that, I'm a huge track fan, and I'm just excited to see all these amazing sprints. We've already had some really fast times earlier in our earlier program that was not on air, but they had some crazy tailwinds. Don't get me wrong, but still some pretty fascinating times. But we're expecting those to be probably eclipsed once we get into the heart and meat of this main program.
For sure. And people switching up events too. We had 400-meter, guru Bryce Deadman running the 100. I was like, 10:38. Where did this guy come from? It was insane.
Wild. That was great to see.
I know that you guys are mainly paying attention to the YouTube stream right now, but if you have a chance, definitely look at the results because, as Mark was saying, we had some amazing times happening in the pre-program, and those people would definitely love your support.
Yeah. So again, that combined program that we have, it's kind of been going on throughout the day. It's going to be a long jump, a discus, and a 200 meters. So it is kind of like a bit of a micro decathlon for these athletes, and we've already have results in from our long jump as well as our discus, and so far right now the discus leader right now, Lyndon Victor from Grenada, throwing 54.87, Kyle Garland 50.21, and then Harrison Williams sitting in third in the discus with 42.34. So the multi-table right now, Kyle Garland from the USA, after his long jump of 7.53, and then again he's got that throw at 50.21, has him in the leader right there with 1,817 points over Lyndon Victor, who was leading that discus after a 7.02 long jump. He's at 17.90, and then Harrison Williams 15.19. So it's interesting with the decathlon, when you have these kind of like micro events, decathletes always have those specialty, when they have 10 events, or a heptathlete has 7 events. They have usually 1 or 2 specialties that they really lean in. That's where they're going to get all their points. Yep. It may be a jumper, so they're going to get it in the high jump and they're going to get it in the long jump. Or it may be a sprinter in the hurdles and the sprints. But here, there's a lot shorter events going on here, and it's a little. They have to rely on just those 3 events here, and it looks like we've got this winning long jump here. So that's DeAndre Ward there, with his jump in that combined event. So 7.60 meters there, DeAndre Ward with that jump that we just saw there on the screen. So he's currently, after the long jump and the discus throw, he's sitting in 5th place. But that was just an absolute monster jump there. He led all the jumpers there with 7.60. But again, he had really good long jump, but the discus not so great. I mean, 21.69 is much more on the lower end, so that's why he's kind of sitting down in 5th. But yeah, just to kind of follow up on that, I mean, when you only have 3 events, and it's really one of everything, one power one sprint thing, and one jump thing. Mm-hmm. If you got to be, when you only have 3 events, you really got to be good in one of them.
Locked in.
Or maybe even 2 of them. And obviously Garland and Victor are doing pretty well in these 2, but we'll have to see how they do later on in that 200.
Absolutely.
So again, folks, we want to welcome everybody here to our live stream here on YouTube of the 2026 Ed Murphey Classic. It's the 10th anniversary. This event's been growing and growing. It's warm conditions out here.
I know.
We've
got
been
the sun right in our
here.
face, Mark.
We've been sweating out here a little bit, but it's starting to cool down, and there is a little bit of a breeze that kind of picks up every once in a while. And again, we'll see that sometimes throughout the day when it comes to some of our sprint events, especially the 200. They'll have definitely a really strong tailwind for them. And again, that'll be beginning in approximately about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, again, we'll keep trying to keep you all up to date on our field events, our combined events. But let's talk a little bit about that, about the 200 that's getting ready to come up here in our men's event. We'll pull that up here, and we've got some pretty good athletes here in that 200. Again, we're just going to have 1 heat in each one of these high-end main running events, and we'll have so that's the women's. We'll have the men's here. We've got Bryce Deadman, Kyrie King, Tamars McCallum. I mean, Tamars is probably one of the top athletes in the field. He's got a 17.73 from last year and a 20.09 for the season. And we can see the athletes there from outside in. Christopher Taylor from Jamaica, Tapawanishi Makararu from Zimbabwe, Aaron Brown from Canada, Brandon Hicklin from USA, Denzel Timaswala from Zimbabwe, Max Thomas from USA, McCallum in 4, King in 2, and Deadman in 1. Oh, so this is the combined 200 we're seeing here right now.
Yeah,
I was wondering why it was going so early. So this is going to be actually deciding.
Kyle Garland got it.
Garland got it. So after that,
21-13.
with that, sorry I misspoke with our intros there. We'll get to those 200 intros there, but Kyle Garland winning that 200. You got to figure that wraps up the combined events when he was already leading going into that.
So that looks like it's going to be a great closing to the day for him.
So a 17.53 long jump, a 50.21 meter discus throw, and then a really good time there in that 200, 21.13. And it looked like Lyndon Victor. So, you know, clearly those were 3 strong events there for Kyle Garland. Doing really well in all 3 of those to take that combined event. So we'll have, see on the track here, that might be the 200s.
That'll be the women's up next.
Women's up next.
Yes. I think that is going to be an absolutely monstrous race. We've got so many heavy hitters in this. It's going to be very difficult to pick who will come out victorious in this race.
So it looks like he just missing that meet record there for Kyle Garland. His overall score there, 27.89. So Kyle Garland is going to be your champion there in our men's combined event. Some were referring to it as a triathlon. I don't want to disrespect all my fellow triathletes out there. Nobody was swimming or biking. We were running, but we weren't swimming or biking there.
We do not want to get flamed on Twitter today.
No. As we take a shot again of our men's discus. And it looks like, again, right now, our compiled results here, it looks like that might have been Chad Wright there. Mitch Weber from the USA, looks like he's getting ready to step up for his throw. Brian Williams from the USA, currently leading after that first throw of 62.92. Reggie Jagers the third, 60.87. And Roji Stona, after his first attempt, he was first up there throwing 60.21. But this might be actually Ashton Hearn from the U.S. So that last throw before that was Mitch Weber at 49.06. So we'll see what that mark is for Ashton Hearn from the U.S. So we'll have plenty of action throughout the day. We've got triple jump, we've got high jumps, we've got shot puts, we've got discus throwers, we've got a lot of things going on.
We've got a perfect view of everything over here, especially if it's only a half a lap from where we're sitting.
Yes, yes. So it looks like we are going to take it down there to our winner, Kyle Garland, winning our combined event.
Shoulder separation in April of this year, so I've just been kind of trying to rehab, get my body right, put my mind in an even better spot, just come out here and execute, getting ready for USA's.
Yeah, and what is your mindset going into USA's now since your competition is over?
Yeah, most definitely. It's just to stay hungry, continue to do what I've been doing up to this point. I know I'm in good shape. Seeing what I was able to do out here, I'm in good fitness as well, so it's like just going out to have fun and try to defend my U.S. championship title.
All right, thank you so much, Kyle. Back to y'all.
All right, so that was our champion there of our combined event. Very exciting to see how well that he did in all of those events. And again, we are just about 5 minutes away from our women's 200 presented by Kira's Automotive. And you were talking about we've got some really amazing athletes here in our sprint events.
I think I could write a dissertation about all these women that we're about to see in the 200 here. Jaden Mays was an absolute beast in Oregon. I think the only thing that she knew how to do was win and take home national championship titles for her and her team. Nisha Berger and Ashanti Moore were carrying Jamaica on their back in 2024, so they're definitely looking forward to, continuing to build on, what the awesomeness of Jamaica sprinting is. Deja Stevens is making her way back. I think she's been back in the game for about a year or two now. I'm sure that she's building towards 28 because she already made an Olympic team. And I know that she absolutely wants to make the team again in a couple of years. So we've got some more women that we can absolutely talk about moving forward. But I think, there's a lot of amazing athletes that we have a chance to talk about and look forward to for today.
We'll meet those 200-meter athletes soon when they get ready to get lined up on the track. And we're going to take a look at a Johnny Dreyer who ran in our pre-program a 9.85.4 tailwind, or 4.0 tailwind.
And who can be surprised? He absolutely kilted this year in the NCAA circuit. So, him running 9.85, I wasn't even surprised. I think I was more surprised about the 4.0 win, though.
Yeah, I was sitting here earlier watching it, and it started at about 3.0, went 3.2, and then 3.6, and then all of a sudden you just started seeing, 4.0s, and it's tough because, some of these athletes are coming out here. They really want to see what they're at, not how fast the wind can blow them down the track.
I know,
but it's probably fun to run that fast with a nice tailwind.
At the end of the day, you still have to execute. Whether you've got a hurricane to your back or a hurricane in your face, the one thing that your coach is going to be looking for is making sure you're hitting all your cues.
And getting back to talking about that upcoming women's 200 meters, Mackenzie Long, obviously we want to talk about her. She's going to be in lane 7. She's the defending Ed Murphey Classic champion and the only runner ever to run under 22 seconds on Tennessee soil. I really think that is going to change today. Definitely some people are going to be joining her in that mix.
I know, especially with the win that they'll be getting. And how amazing was it for her to actually end up making Team USA? She was 4th at the U.S. Championships and then was able to, come in and represent Team USA at the World Championships, and she made it all the way to the final. So.
Yeah, having a great season, NCAA champion, and again, her PB 21.83. Again, the record here 21.93. Her season best is 22.42, but I mean, most of this field is going to be right around in that low 22 seconds. And so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get things going on the track.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
All right, welcome back, folks, here to the 2026 Ed Murphey Classic. We're just a couple of minutes away from kicking things off here on the Oval with our women's 200 presented by Curious Automotive.
And can we take a chance to talk about Favor Ophelia as well? She has the world record in the 150-meter straight, so she's also somebody that you cannot count out when it comes to a 200-meter dash.
And it does look like we got rumor that illustriously decorated Jenna Brandini, who was originally slated in the 200, is not going to be starting there. We also got a scratch from Tyria Kelly and Jasmine Montgomery. So our field is down to about 6 athletes here. And we also at this time, we want to welcome to our booth here our 2016 Rio Olympian in the shot put, USA TF champion, and throws coach extraordinaire, Darrell Hill, to help us keep up with all those amazing field events that we're going to be happening tonight.
I appreciate that wonderful introduction, man. It make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I'm happy to be here with you guys, excited to, have another wonderful night of track and field and another great Murphey Classic.
So you were over there with your coaching hat on there at the women's shot put, and now you're going to back over here with your announcer hat on.
Yeah, it was a good competition. The weather is nice and hot for the people on the track, but for the throws athletes, that humidity is a little thick. So the performances were down a little bit, but Axelina Johansson got the win today in 1890, which was a good performance for her.
That's great. And again, next up here on the track will be our women's 200. And it looks like we've got, you can see the list there. Tyria Kelly in lane 8, Favor Ophelia in lane 7, Mackenzie Long in 6. We do have that scratch for Jenna Brandini, so that she won't be in 5. Jasmine Montgomery in 9 there.
Taraya and Jasmine are some of the best that the NCAA has to offer, so I'm excited to see what they'll do running up against these pros.
Jaden Mays is going to be in 2. Naisha Burger in 3 from Jamaica. Deja Stevens in 4. Ashante Moore in 5. Mackenzie Long in 6. And Favor Ophelia in 7. Tyria Kelly in 8. And Jasmine Montgomery in 9. So actually those athletes are back in. So we've got a full field here. Lanes 2 through 9. Looks like originally they were do not starts, but they are in here. And keep an eye out in the middle of the track there, especially Stevens, Moore, Long, and Ophelia.
We're going to be looking from big, powerful, fast starts from everyone. So let's see who gets to 50 meters first.
And we're off here. Our women's 200 presented by Curious Automotive. And they're coming around off this last turn there. So again, keep an eye on the middle lanes there, 4, 5, and 6. Long is doing really well, but also Ophelia on the outside.
Mackenzie and Favor are working hard, but I think Favor is about to take that all the way to the line. Will we get sub 22? Let's see what the official time is.
Favor Ophelia, 21.74. It's a 2.8 tailwind. So I'm not quite sure how they designate that, whether that would be a meet record or not. But still, an incredible time there for Ophelia. Really strong after that turn. There was some challenge there early from Long, Moore, and Kelly, but eventually Ophelia just powered away in the final stretch.
For sure, but Ophelia's been that way since she was at LSU. She is someone who is not afraid of competition and not afraid to make her competitors work. So when she came around the turn and she felt Mackenzie Long on her shoulder, I knew that she had exactly what it took to bring it all the way home to the finish line.
And you can see Favor Ophelia right there on the screen receiving the congratulations bottle. Is she going to pop the bottle? I think she might. She's looking at trying to do that. We got Kevin Morris, our illustrious photographer, down there making sure to catch that money shot. There she goes. Popping that bottle. It's going to make the track a little sticky there down at the finish line.
If I ran 21.74, I would be doing the exact same thing, except I would probably be doing a backflip too.
Yes. Very good time there. You can see she's going to get down and try to catch her breath once that adrenaline rushes out of the body there, and getting a chance to talk to our audience here at the University of Memphis. Good turnout here, even in warm conditions. We expect some more people to show up as the night gets on and these track events start heating up. So, Darrell, tell us a little bit more about not only the women's shot put, but our expected men's shot put. We were talking earlier about that challenge between Geist and Britt in that overall world tour, and what Jordan's going to have to throw to at least, well, he won't really have the pressure. He'll get to have those final throws after Britt's already run. So he'll have a little bit of pressure off of him. Going to be exciting to see that, and I'm sure we're going to be quickly crunching the numbers as well as soon as that 110 hurdles wraps up, and again, Jordan will know exactly what he needs to throw after that, so he definitely has the advantage in that. As we get ready here next up for our men's pro 200 meters presented by Jim Mathis. And we've got a very, very good field in here. And again, I was mentioning earlier, Tamars McCallum, the only man to ever break 20 seconds on Tennessee soil. 7 athletes in this field have PBs under 20 seconds. So again, we expect probably some runners, especially with this tailwind, to join McCallum underneath that 20-second barrier.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a handful of people that can absolutely make it happen. Max Thomas has been having an amazing year, so it's possible for him to dip under 20. His PR is 1998, but I definitely think he's primed to go a lot faster than that now. Then we've got Denzel and Carly. We call him Carly when I went to Kentucky, but that's Tapi Wanashe. Both of them are trained under Daryl Anderson. Both of them have either, won the NCAA title or have gone on to be All-American, and both of them are well within their right to be able to go under 20 seconds as well.
Yeah, and we've got some athletes in here running this 200 that were part of our USA 4x100 meter relay team that won the World Athletics Relays just this past May. So they're going to have some incentives to continue that kind of winning streak as we get ready here for our men's 200 meters presented by Jim Mathis. And again, our meet record and Tennessee record on Tennessee soil record, 1973. We mentioned Tamars McCallum from Tennessee, just set last year. World leading time right now, 1963 at that Eugene Diamond Link by Jaden Reed. What an amazing time there. And our U.S. leading time, 10:69, King Kenny Benderak. And we see the athletes lined up here. We're going to have in lane 9 representing Jamaica, Christopher Taylor. In lane 8, Tapa Wanaishi Makaroru. I'm sure I butchered that name.
We just call him Carly.
From Zimbabwe. Aaron Brown from Canada in lane 7. Brandon Hicklin from the U.S. in lane 6. Denzel Simi, help me pronounce that one. Simi Sailila.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we're going to go with that. Another tough Zimbabwean name there, so I apologize to all our Zimbabwe listeners out there. Max Thomas from the U.S. in lane 4. We mentioned Tamars McCallum from the U.S. in lane 3. Kyrie King from the U.S. in lane 2. And then Bryce Dedman from the U.S. in lane 1. And we're off underway here in our men's 200 presented by Jim Mathis. And we'll get a good shot when they come off this turn here. Looks like lane 6 there, possibly. Brandon Hicklin.
Looks strong off the turn, but he is going to have some fighting to do up the middle of the track.
That's lane 5 there. That is our man, Denzel Simisilala.
Training partner of Tapi Wanashe. Let's see what the official time is for Denzel. Oh, teammates go 1-2. That's what's up. We have multiple people under 20.
Zimbabwe in
wow.
the house. After I butchered their names.
1984. Please do not beat us up for pronouncing his name wrong. I promise we still love him. And as y'all know, it's Big Blue Nation always in this house. So as a Kentucky athlete, it's so amazing to see Denzel and Carly absolutely kill this race today.
So we're going to take a look back at this exciting 200 meters as they get underway there. And Denzel just had a really strong finish here coming down. Came from probably about 3rd or 4th place there to take that victory.
And you got to look at his stature as well. I mean, Brandon Hicklin is almost twice his height. And the fact that Denzel did not fold under pressure, knowing that Brandon was coming after him and has a much longer and powerful stride, I mean, that's somebody that you can bet on to, place at championships and make finals.
And it looks like they may have updated those results there and put Aaron Brown now in 2nd place, also at the same time of 1988. So they probably had to go to the 1,000th of a second there to decide those 2 athletes there between 2nd and 3rd. Shows them tied, but they got Aaron Brown ahead, so they went to the 1,000th of a second there. But 0.39 tailwind for that race. But again, several athletes under that 20-second barrier.
I mean, and it was a tight race, too. I mean, it almost looked like a straight line before they got to the finish line. We've got a 1984, 2 1988s, a 1989, and a 1999. And even the athletes that ran 20.02, both of them pretty close as well. So definitely a fun race. I think we've absolutely set up for some more great sprint events today.
Yeah, we've started things off here with our sprint events, and then the next thing that we are going to get into soon here will be our men's 800 presented by the city of Memphis and Mike Cody. So it looks like we're going to take a look over here at the high jump. So, Darrell, we've got our high jump here and our field expert, Darrell Hill, and our women's high jump is off and underway there.
Don't you just love when you get to hear my voice at home, people? When we finally got some field events going on in this in the 1s and 2s.
Somebody who knows what they're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. But no, this is going to be a good competition. We're in the early phase of the competition right now. They've just went over the second bar, Charity Huffnagel over 175 clean. But I'm excited to see how this one unfolds. We got Vashti Cunningham here, obviously one of our more decorated women high jumpers we've had in U.S. history. But Charity has been really showing high form since she won the Olympic trials back in 2024. Another Kentucky Wildcat.
I'm telling you, I know Big Blue Nation in the house. If you're not Kentucky, then you're not with us.
Listen, we got a lot of BBN going on here, but obviously she's clean, so it's really early. But I'm excited to see, with USA's coming around the corner, what type of form these women are in, and how they're trying to, prepare themselves over the next 2 weeks to get ready for the championship.
I had a chance to talk with Charity earlier today at breakfast, and she's just really excited about her season this year just because she had a really amazing indoor. She said she had a couple mishaps, for outdoors, but she's definitely excited to see where she can go.
And on the screen here now, we are back to our men's discus, which is still well underway here.
Yeah, want to keep an eye on Roger Stona, the Olympic champion in this competition. Obviously, he's in great form. He's been competing well. He threw 69 meters earlier this year at Ramona. A lot of these athletes have gone out to Oklahoma and took advantage of that wonderful Ramona facility. But this is going to be a good competition. Right now, Brian Williams is in the lead. My former roommate, so shout out BW. You know what I'm saying? 63.09, but they're still early. Just finished round number 2. They're in the middle of round number 3. But Brian Williams right now in the lead at 63.09. But we've got a lot of really good American throwers here in this competition. So I'm excited to see, you know, just how it takes shape over the next 3, 4, and 5 rounds.
Darrell, tell us a little bit about Val Sion winning, already wrapping up that women's tour, $50,000 with some pretty dominant performances in Oklahoma, as you mentioned, and a couple other meets. So great for her to already wrap things up before the season even finishes.
You said the right word, dominant. I got asked on my Instagram. I was doing a question game with some of my followers, and I was asked, who's the #1 women's thrower in the world currently? And I had to think about it for a second, but it only took about 1 second because it was Valerie Sion. Like, she's been competing at a high level year after year after year, and so hearing that she wrapped up the USATF tour this early in the competition comes at no surprise to me because in true Valerie form, she's dominant.
And it looks like we see our winner there of our men's 200 meters, and we are going to take a short break here and then come back with some more action on the track here at the Ed Murphy Classic.
At Jim Karras Automotive, we've been in business for over 75 years, and that doesn't happen by accident. We're proud to serve Memphis, not just through the vehicles we sell, but through the community we support.
Through ongoing support of local causes and community initiatives, giving back has always been at the heart of what we do. And if you're in the market for a vehicle, we'd love the opportunity to earn your business.
So let us show you why generations of customers choose Jim Karras Automotive.
Visit us today or shop 24/7 online at jimkarras.com.
And now at this time tonight, we'd like to also take a moment to honor the memory of Memphis running icon Mike Cody, a distinguished Memphis attorney with ties to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legal efforts. Mike was also a standout runner at Rhodes College and a lifelong champion of the local running community. As a close friend and longtime running partner of Ed Murphy himself, his impact helped shape the spirit of this event. In one of his final special moments, Murphy Classic fan favorite Craig Ingles visited Mike in 2024, just before his passing. We proudly dedicate this moment to a man whose legacy continues to inspire runners across Memphis and beyond. It looks like here we've got a shot of is that our women's shot put champion there?
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. It's Axelina Johansson, the Nebraska Cornhusker. And one of the cool things she's got going on is she's actually a finalist for the Bowerman Award coming up here. Obviously, they do the awards coming up in the winter months, but no thrower has ever won that competition. But I've got a sneaky feeling that this might be the time where we can finally get a thrower on top of the Bowerman. For people at home, the Bowerman Award is like the Heisman for track and field. And so no thrower's ever won it, but her dominance this season, setting the NCAA record indoors, NCAA champion in and out, Big Ten champion. I mean, I can give you all the ins and outs, throwing over 1990, just shy of 20 meters. Like, I might be making a case for it.
Listen, you might have to present the award.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to know who I voted for, right? I did the little fan vote. But I'm excited to see just how that shakes out. She's had a fantastic season. Now she's getting ready for the Commonwealth Games and the rest of her professional summer.
And I want you to know that even though I am a sprinter myself, I have wanted some throwers and some field eventers to win the Bowerman Award. I think most recently, or a couple of years ago, I really wanted Cameron Rogers to win. Like, I was going on Twitter saying, listen, there is nobody else on this list that is better than her. So I'm hoping that Axelina is able to pull that off this year in December.
Well, it's a tough one, right? Because with most throwers, sometimes you get throwers who do multiple events. So if somebody does the shot put in a discus, or somebody does the discus and a hammer throw, then it makes it a little easier because they got multiple events. But when you got a sprinter, like somebody like a Deja Hodge who's doing the 100 and the 200, but because of how volatile and how high level the sprints have been, obviously she didn't win the 100 at the NCAA championship. So that opens the door for somebody who is truly dominant in a single event like Axelina. So I'm just excited to see how it goes out. I'm going to be there because it's attached to the coaches convention as well. So I'm going to be in my suit, and I'm going to be all surprised to see how it shakes out. But it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Let's make sure you're not by the voting box because you can't rig anything.
No promises.
Right. Well, we can see on the track here now our next event, our City of Memphis and Mike Cody presented men's 800 meters. Wearing hip number 8, Gabriel Hodgson from the USA comes in with a season best of 147.60. Wearing hip 7 from the USA, Max Armstrong coming in with a season best of 146.06. Got Camden Marshall wearing hip 6, coming in with a season best of 145.72. And then again, that late add, 5-time U.S. champion in 2019, world champion in the 800 meters with a season best of 144, a personal best of 142.16, Donovan Blazer. And then, of course, as we mentioned, also everybody's favorite runner out here. He's quite the character. Craig Engels from the USA wearing hip number 4. Caleb Winters will be wearing hip number 3, coming in with a season best of 148.82. He's a recent high school grad from Bloomington, Indiana, coming off a huge victory at the New Balance National Outdoor Championships recently in Philadelphia. And in hip 2 from the USA, a local lad from Whitehaven High School set his personal best time this past May at the Desert Heat Classic in Arizona, representing the University of Iowa, Tarek Johnson. And then wearing hip number 1, representing the USA, went to Ole Miss and was runner-up at the Virginia Challenge with a PB of 146.89 this season, Chase Rose. So we've got a pretty decent, I mean, in this, I would say we already had a good 800-meter runner, 800-meter race plan. But now that we've got Donovan in here, I'd love to see that battle.
Yeah, you have no choice but to take it out and do what you got to do. Donovan is absolutely going to kill it today.
And we got our pacer there, Tommy Cardenas, is going to be taking out the first 400 meters in right around 50 seconds. So that'll be your early leader out there, and he'll hope to string this crowd out. When you have pacers in these types of races, you don't want to see a field really bunched up behind the pacer. You want to see them strung out, because if they're bunched up, that means they're probably running a little bit too slow. So we'll see Cardenas here taking the lead, and Blazer there. Blazer's just tucking right in on his shoulder, so he definitely wants to go out in that 50 seconds.
So, Mark, since you're our distance guy, as we're moving into this second lap almost, tell us what they're probably going to be thinking about as they go for their final lap.
They're probably thinking, I need to make a move really quickly or Brazier's going to be gone.
I mean, look at him right now. He has got a gap on these people, and Donovan is so true to this game. He's not new to this, and I know with this gap right here, if nobody else is willing to make a move, they're going to let Donovan take this win without any challenges.
Now, if this was just some kind of random runner out here trying to run away with it in the first 500 meters.
A random guy named Donovan.
Yeah, you would probably see somebody coming up strong here, but you know, when you got an athlete of this caliber running on the world stage as many times as he has, with 200 meters to go there, going through 50 seconds, which a lot of the field probably would struggle to go through, it's really just him against the clock, as the cliche goes.
And look at his face, too, his form. He looks so cool, calm, and collected. I mean, I have never seen anybody look this calm during an 800. I'm not going to lie to you.
And that's Marshall, the only one to challenge there for Brazier. But, yeah, you still mentioned that, just strong arms up on his toes as he powers down here, down the home stretch. And across that finish line there, looked right around maybe high 147, low 148. Oh, wait. 144.94, so the clock was a little off.
Wow.
I was looking down on my phone and then looked up there at where he crossed, 144.94.
Now, is that the calmest 144 you've ever seen, Mark?
Now, the meet record is by Jonah Koech, set back in 2022 when he was running for the U.S. Army, of 144.95.
Oh,
so he just broke the meet record by 0.01 seconds. And so you see them coming over with the meeting record, and Brazier is going to pop that cork.
And I mean, listen, like I said, it was a little sad that he was not able to complete the victory last year at World Championships, but I know that this win today, this 144, is strong and as smooth as he looked. He just added some more confidence under his belt. Not like he needed it, though.
Not like he needed it there, but so we see Camden Marshall coming up in second in 146.58, and then our good friend Engels there coming up in third in 147.82, but it is all that man on the screen. Donovan Brazier, one of the not only top athletes obviously in the country, but in the world.
He's somebody that you absolutely have to admire. I mean, I've talked to so many people that run the 800, some of the next gen that are honestly really to look and be like him and look to him for inspiration. You know, just because, you know, you've had injury or you've been through some tough challenges in your career as an athlete, there's always an opportunity to make a comeback, and Donovan Brazier is absolute proof of that.
Well, and again, just lucky for us that, you know, he was able to join us. Sometimes you just never know what coach decides. You know what? We need to get a meet in this weekend. Let's go run the Ed Murphey Classic.
And
let's
you
go
don't
put
say,
on a show.
You don't say no to Donovan Brazier.
No, you don't say no. If Donovan Brazier comes a knock, whatever you want, just put on a show, and he put on a show there. And you got Ed Murphy's son there, who was our president of the meet, getting in a nice photo up there with our champion here in the men's 800, Donovan Brazier. And that means we will be moving on here to our women's 800, presented by City Auto, wearing hip number 1, Safiqua Maloney, wearing hip number 2, Victoria Basong, wearing hip number 3 will be Michaela Rose, wearing hip number 4, Veronica Hargrave, wearing hip number 5, Natoya Gulitapin, wearing hip number 6, Taya Shelby, wearing hip number 7 will be Hannah Ballow, wearing hip number 8, Gracie Morris, wearing hip number 9, Camille Laus, and wearing hip number 10, Aurora Rinda. And finally, I spoke to this young lady on the shuttle ride from the airport from Uganda, Susan Nenenyo.
I love her.
We were talking up Julius Achon, who's a pretty well-known Ugandan runner from back during my day. And so I'm definitely wishing her the best of luck, UConn graduate there. And then we're going to have our pacer, Natalie Varela, who's going to be taking this field through in right around 57 to 57 and a half. As you see our field here on the track for our women's pro 800 meters presented by City Auto.
A lot of familiar faces out here on the track. Gracie Morris has a new kit on her. She used to be a Puma athlete, and now she has signed with the Nike Swoosh Track Club about a week ago. So I'm excited to see how she's going to do in her new racing kit and new racing shoes.
Yeah, she just recently ran about 4 minutes flat for the 1,500 meters in China. So she's coming in pretty strong there with a 2 flat season best and PR that she set earlier today. But, you know, we've got some 159 girls in here. We got some 158 ladies in here. Maloney coming in with a 157.34. She's our defending champion, meet record holder, and Tennessee soil record holder.
Shafiqua is somebody that I just always have on my list of people to make it happen. I mean, when she graduated from Arkansas a couple years ago, her first year or two out being pro, she was running the craziest 600 and 800 meter times, and everyone was like, who is this girl and what is she going to do? And ever since then, now that she's in this Puma uniform, she has been letting people know, I am here to control this 800, and y'all are going to have to pay attention to me when it comes to major championships.
So we had Varela take the field through the first 400, and Maloney now taking over the lead there. You know, she was 4th place at the Paris Olympics, just
Insane,
out of
right?
that medal. That will give you some inspiration to, like I'm just there. I'm almost there.
And from St. Vincent as well, from a really small country. So she is absolutely putting St. Vincent on the map. She is somebody with a really strong finish. She is going to have to keep her composure, though, because somebody like Victoria Basong and Michaela Rose, those are 2 women who have got some amazing finishes. So as long as Shafiqua keeps it open right here these last 100 meters, she's going to be good on that victory.
I tell you what, Rose looked very well there with about 200 to go, but then Maloney just put on the power. Look at the arm pump coming off that final turn, about 125 to go. There was no catching her, and that was definitely under 2 minutes. Just seeing the clock as they went across 158.85, just missing her own meet record. A star champion there from St. Vincent's and Grenadines, once again defending her title here in the women's 800 at the Ed Murphey Classic. And Guli Toplin came on really strong there. Rose started to fall back, and then Finley and Toplin kind of, you know, took advantage of that to sneak in there for 2nd and 3rd place.
Toppin is somebody who's been in the game for a while, so I was really excited to see her get in there and get 2nd place.
Yeah, no, it's good for the Jamaican athlete there. She is the Jamaican national record holder, which she said about 3 years ago, and the national record holder for 1,000 meters as well, and a 2021 Tokyo Olympic Games finalist. So she's definitely got the credentials, and she earned every second of that. finishing up in second behind a very strong Shafiqua Maloney.
You know, Shafiqua is somebody that you just absolutely have to admire, who she trains with down with the Johnson brothers in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And they teach their athletes how to hurt, okay? So anytime I see Shafiqua putting a gap on somebody or hawking someone down, I'm just like, I know she's thinking about how she's been feeling in practice all year.
Well, that was a great race that we had in both of our middle distance. So all our middle distance races are gone. Now we're back to the sprints.
Oh, don't worry, I got us handled. Or
You got
I think
us
there's
handled,
actually
or
someone else in the booth
even
who's
more
got us
so,
handled.
Even more so, somebody to really handle us. We now have the absolute pleasure to welcome to the show 110 high hurdler specialist and Paris Olympian Freddie Credington. Freddie, we all wish you could be out there competing, but we're certainly happy to have your experience and expertise with us on the stream. But first of all, you are here, but you're not competing. Can you give us a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, so my family and I kind of decided in the fall last year that this was probably even my last year, and we wanted to go out with a bang, wanted to do a lot of meets, wanted to have a lot of fun. I was planning on coming to Memphis and competing. Injury kind of took that off the chessboard.
Those darn injuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to come down here and support Ed Murphey Classic, come down here and hang out with Max Paquette, and I'm here to watch these hurdles and watch all these other events and just have a good time.
Well, we got to see you last week out there in Eugene, and one athlete that definitely is running here that you got to see a little bit of. Don't want to disrespect you on stream there, but competing in this, we've been mentioning him several times as part of this USATF World Tour $50,000 grand prize, and that's Jamal Britt. And he's had a very impressive run last week in Eugene, running a fast personal best time, 12:86. And tell us a little bit how you see Jamal's progression. I mean, just a year ago he was running 13.08, 13.09, and now all of a sudden he's running 12:86. It's amazing to witness, even just
Right.
as a fan of the sport.
Yeah,
put your fan hat on and take your athlete hat
No.
off.
I'm always a fan first, and Jamal Britt has been one of those quiet forces that has been around for a long time, for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and even going back to 2022, Jamal was actually my teammate at NACAC Championships in Bahamas, and if he didn't push me, I probably wouldn't have won. I wouldn't go with 13:0, and he was right on my behind with a 13:07. So Jamal has been running fast for a long time. He's always been a quiet force, always been in the mix, and this is the year that has really broken out for him. He's really running amazing. He's got a rhythm, and he deserves it. I think he's worked his butt off for a long time, missed out on some really big opportunities, and he's capitalizing on all those missed finals and missed teams this year in every single race. I'm very excited for Jamal.
Well, I'm sure I could say that you pushed him as well to that 12:86. So a little reciprocation, in the sense of that. So, I mean, the U.S. they've had tremendous success at the world level on both the women's side
Freddie
and the
being
men's
a part
side.
of it.
Yeah. I mean, and so tell us how you see what that looks like going into kind of this next Olympic cycle.
It's so interesting. As I was growing up and as I was in college, it was more like, oh, you put your time in, you grind, you develop, and you get better. And when you hit 27, 28, that's your prime, and that's when you capitalize on all the work that you've done. But these recent years, man, they're getting younger and younger, and they're getting faster and faster. And the elite are in the ranks of the college athletes. I wouldn't even be surprised to say that if some of these high schoolers were running 42s, they would be in some of these pro races just like in all the other events, but luckily we got 3 more inches.
I was going to say, those kids have been running high hurdles in high school, but they haven't quite got to that 39 or 42 yet. So,
right, but with Jacoby running 12.75 at NCAA Nationals.
Oh, yeah, please tell me what your initial reactions were to that, because when I saw it, I was losing my mind. So.
No. Okay, so my first reaction was like, there's no way somebody ran 12.75. But after watching Jacoby for so long, I was like, honestly, I've seen him run so many 13-0s, and I've never seen him try until that race.
And it wasn't even a perfect race either. He was saying, I hit a hurdle, and it wasn't the best race. And I said, for you to run 12, of any time ever, to run 12.75 and not put together a perfect race, I think we should all be very scared.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things like even this year we have 4 people that have run under 13, which usually is like one year there's one person that's really hot and that's running under 13 for real. But this year we got Trey Cunningham, Jamal Britt, we have Kendrick Smallwood, and Jacoby Tharp that have all run under 13, and it's only the first week of July.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the first week of July?
First week of July.
Yeah, first week of July.
First 10 days.
Yeah.
First 10 days.
So we
We're
still
a
got
little
another
hazy from the 4th of July.
We
That's
still got
okay.
another half of the season. We still have the Diamond League final. We still have World Ultimate coming up later this year, and I think it's only going to get hotter and hotter as the season progresses.
So we've talked about Jamal in this field. Do you have anybody else as a strong pick in there, or is this going to be the Jamal Britt show?
I think Jamal is going to be hard to beat in any race for the rest of the season. I do think some guys are going to push him. Connor Shulman has had a strong season this year. I don't know if Bradley Franklin is going to race. He ran 13:10 in the pre-programming today. I don't know if he's in the main program for the final. But
yeah, he's listed. He ran around 13:10 in a 2.1 tailwind.
So I think if
we'll
he's in the mix,
see if he ends up kind of entering in this race again.
I think they can definitely get in the mix. I would be remiss if I don't bring up my training partner, Lewis Rollins.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll take a look at that 13:10 there from Bradley Franklin. And, I mean, is that something that's often where you have athletes where they'll run, if there is like a pre and a main program or that they'll run 2 races in the same day, almost kind of treat it like a semi and a final?
Yeah, Bradley Franklin ran well, and I think that's the thing. It depends on the athlete. Some athletes like to get a couple rounds, like to have a round to, like, get things moving, get things flowing. A lot of times at practice, I'm like, I'll run my first rep to kind of test the check engine light, and then that second rep is like, okay, now I can let go and really let it fly, So that's kind of maybe what Bradley was doing, trying to like check the engines and see what it's looking like, and maybe he'll come back and run something faster. I think he can definitely push Jamal today, but like I said, I think it'll be hard to beat Jamal at any race.
So in order to be successful with this race, whether it's Jamal or anybody else, give me just 2 things off the top of your head that you think that these athletes need to really be focused in and dialed in on to have a successful race today.
I think the main thing is you got to be reckless abandonment all out. If you have any doubt, if you have any fear, if you have any worry or anything like, my hamstring, if you have any of that, you're already at a disadvantage. And then on top of that, you got to focus on your lane. If you're worried about anybody else to your left or to your right, those barriers are going to come up quick on you and they're going to knock you out of the race. So you got to be ready to go all out, black out, run aggressive, and controlled at the same time. But also, if you're worried about anything else, anybody else in your race, you're going to be at a disadvantage.
When the casual viewer is watching the hurdles, and you see sometimes a stark difference. I mean, I remember watching the race last weekend in Eugene, and Britt just such a clean run, and I'm sure that led to such a great time. I mean, how significant when you've got that much power and you're running that fast? Is it really that much of a disadvantage when you're hitting hurdles? I mean, when the casual person is watching a hurdler hit a bunch of hurdles, they're probably screaming, "Why are you hitting all those hurdles? Why aren't you jumping over them?"
Yeah.
I mean, is it really that big of a deal if you're hitting the hurdles? I mean, is it absolutely imperative that you have an absolute clean non-hit race?
So it varies per person. Some of the smaller built hurdlers, the hurdle will knock them back. Some of the bigger guys, it'll throw them off too. Some people, they can graze every single hurdle and be fine because technically they're like grazing the top. It'll sometimes fall down, but if it's not impeding you or like knocking you back or throwing off your legs, sometimes you can hit them all and still be fine. It really depends on the athlete. It varies for everybody.
I remember back in the day watching a video of Greg Foster indoors, and they had the wood hurdles. They didn't have the plastic. They had the wood. And his force going through the hurdles would literally snap hurdles in half. I mean, his leg would just be straight, and he would just literally snap hurdles as he was going through.
I know somebody didn't want to pay that bill.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure
that honestly, that makes a big difference too. If the hurdles are the newer brand,
fiberglass kind of thing. Yeah,
they fall a little bit easier. They're a little bit lighter. If you go to one of those older meets in Europe or
they've got the real heavy bases.
The heavy wooden.
Oh yeah.
Those will knock you back. I've seen some races throughout the States where they're literally knocking them down and the hurdles are flying up behind them because they're so light. So it depends on the hurdles too.
Well, again, I came up around like Foster and of course Ronaldo Nehemiah, one of the legendary hurdlers for the U.S. and such powerful hurdlers back there. But it seems like you guys this year, the technique and the science and the precision and it's almost like a different type of strength. It's not like a bull strength, like just like just savagely went through it. It's more come from like a gut power. I mean, you guys are being able to do so many things now to really just be strong over these hurdles. It's just been really impressive to watch.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hurdlers that are becoming better sprinters in general. If you look at Jamal is a 10-2 100 sprinter, and I think the way he's built and how many years he's put in like refining his craft of hurdling, I think the perfect balance of being able to sprint fast and have elite form and technical like execution over the hurdles, he has the perfect balance of those things, and it's really been paying off this year for him.
And I'm really excited to see that these things have been paying off because he was an absolute beast since Iowa. Because, you know, people who don't really be paying attention to track for real, they don't really remember people's collegiate days. But Jamal, like, he was somebody that you could not mess with at the NCAA championships, him and one of his former teammates as well. So knowing that finally all this work is paying off to the fact that now he's running 12.8s, it's like, I'm glad that y'all can finally see it now because I've been seeing this for at least the past 4 to 5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think we may lose. Freddie's going to stay here, but we've lost his attention. I can already see him.
Oh, no.
They're doing their starts right now. You can just see him just going, why am I not out there? I
will be remiss if I don't bring up my beloved training partner, Lewis Rollins. He's right here rocking the Phoenix Track Club, the Tracksmith kit. This may be his last meet. And we're both going out this year. My last week will be USA's next week or in a couple weeks, and this may be his last meet. So I'm excited to see what he does. I'm definitely got an eyeball on him for sure to see how he does. He's looking really, really clean and really fast in this warm-up as well.
Yeah, Rollins there, Pittsburgh State graduate who competed in the long jump, triple jump, and high jump while in college. Ran his PB a couple years ago at the Olympic trials there in Oregon, running 13:33. So he's definitely got some great credentials there as we see the athletes. Well, now we're at the finish line here as we're getting the crowd hyped up for this amazing event because it'll be, again, we talked about that series. Jamal's going to put out that time, betting that he's going to win this race. And then Jordan Geis is going to just be able to basically sit back and wait.
And watch.
And just basically start doing the math. We were talking with Darrell to just start doing the math. Exactly what do I have to throw where I'm buying drinks tonight.
And he's got the nice end of it because he's finished with his comp, so he's not worried about anything.
Right, yeah.
Jamal's probably like, I need to make sure I execute and make sure I do X, Y, Z so that I can get up there and get that prize. But, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. I believe I think Jamal has to run at least a 13:15, I believe. To get enough points.
Yeah, I think 13 flat is probably something that's going to force Jordan to throw really far there.
Right.
So we're gonna introduce our starting field here in lane 9 from the USA. Johnny Brackens coming in with a personal best and season best of 13:27. In lane 8, Lewis Rollins, you mentioned, with that personal best of 13:33. Lane 7, Connor Schulman from the U.S. Lane 6, Bradley Franklin from the U.S. coming in with a season best of 13:19. In lane 5, Divine Wilson from the U.S. In lane 4, Rasheem Brown from the Cayman Islands. And then we've been talking about him a lot there. In lane 3, representing the USA, Jamal Britt ran the number 5 performance all-time last week at the Pre-Classic, beating a very impressive field, including our friend here to my left. And lane 2 is going to be from the USA, Eric Edwards. He set his season best, 13:29. Just recently in a PB and a runner-up NCAA championships there in 2022. And in lane 1, Chris Serraro ran a PB this past May at the NCAA Division I Outdoor Track and Field Championships, Rutger graduate. So that's your field. Again, all eyes are going to be on lane 3, Britt. And you mentioned a couple of other athletes that we definitely want to keep an eye on there. Schulman, Rollins. But again, coming in here when you see all these times, the season best 13:2, 13:3 maybe, 13:1 possibly, and then you see that 12:86.
Yeah,
it stands out a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But even when you look at the field, all of these athletes are pretty accomplished. America has a deep field of great talent, and we always like to line up with each other. A lot of these guys are All-American finalists, and they're ready to get it going.
Meet record and Tennessee soil record 13:14. That was set by Devon Allen in 2021. I do not see that standing. Depending on the wind, we'll have to see how the wind factor. We're getting ready to get underway here. Serraro, Edwards, Britt, Brown, Wilson, Franklin, Schulman, Rollins, and Brackens. Britt got out well there, Freddie.
He's out to a really clean start. Getting into that rhythm a little bit. There's a lot of clanking, a lot of going back and forth. Oh, man.
That might have been actually Brown on the outside, looking really well there.
It was a very messy race for everybody.
You got Jamal.
Jamal, though, 1291.
Wow.
Wow.
I think that 50K might be
Franklin,
his, guys.
1304. So 3.2
3-point win.
tailwind there, but 1291. Franklin at 1304. Shulman, you mentioned earlier, 1316. But yeah, that was almost two different races when it came down to the end.
Yeah, it was a very, 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 very messy race. It was easy to see Jamal get into a good rhythm. Let's take a look at this replay coming up. So the first thing that I noticed, Jamal looked like he got a pretty easy start. I think it's very difficult running in these high winds. You know the wind's going to be pushing at your back. So honestly, you just got to keep a good rhythm and not let it push you too far. Very, very messy race, but Jamal came out and executed and just kept it easy and got through the line.
Compared to most of the other athletes, though, it seemed a little bit cleaner. I mean, when he was, if he was hitting the hurdle, it was just almost kind of in his midsection on his way over the hurdle, rather than necessarily catching it on his lead under thigh or calf or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think that's the difficult part. A lot of people, if you hit it on the way up or on the way into it, it throws you off because you can't get off of it. But if you hit it on the way coming down,
you're just kind of dragging it a little bit. It might slow you up a little bit, but when you're getting hit force first,
exactly,
and you're starting from hitting it first and then dragging it, then I'm sure that's a little bit more difficult.
Now Jamal has been running. I can't even count up how many sub-13s he's ran in like the past couple of weeks. But if we can positively predict his future, like, what do you see happening with all these sub-13 performances for him?
So that's interesting you say that. Like a lot of times with hurdles, we think about rhythm and we think about like, oh, if you're running near PB for a long time, those times will drop, you know. And with Jamal, he's been running some consistent. He's run 1289. We ran 1289 and then ran 1286 and now followed up again with the 1291. So he's like teetering at that level, right? So I think if he has a couple more races like that, we can see a big drop again come later in the season. You know, like if you hit that threshold time and time again and you've proven that you can stay at that threshold, your body will get accustomed to it, and then you can make another dip later on. You know, I think he's just running really well. He's got a great rhythm. He's feeling good. He's feeling healthy. He's got a lot of races coming up, and he's not slowing down anytime soon. I think if he just gets out of his own way, stays recovered, gets out of his own like mental, keeps his mental space safe and guarded, you know, I think he'll do a really good job being competitive and have even faster races later down in the season.
Yep. And we'll hear from him in a second about how he feels about this race.
So down to the track there with Jamal Britt, your champion.
All right, Jamal, congratulations on your win today. You've been steady hitting under that 13-second pace. What's going right in practice?
Really, we just been working on just staying consistent and moving fast. Really, you know, last year I was trying to come back. You know, last year I proved that I was like a 13-1 hurler. This season I kind of want to prove that I can run consistently 13-0 in my best sub 13. So, and I kind of surpassed that a bit. So, really, you know, there's still a lot more season left in me. So we'll see what happens at the end.
And it seems like your confidence is just raising every race for you. Where does that confidence come from?
Really the man, Alan Johnson. So, I mean, back in his day, you know, he was confident in himself. So, I mean, I was always confident in myself, but I was the type of person that had to see progression versus already have it. So this year I kind of switched that as look, I know I'm talented enough to do all these great things. Let's try to switch that mindset and actually believe that I can do it. And so far I've been proving more than I think of. So. And
that 50K is coming closer and closer to you. I know you're competing with a shot putter. Have you been keeping up with that at all?
Oh, yeah. I was already saying, I was like, man, it's kind of crazy because I only get one attempt and he got 3. So, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna watch the shot put and see how it is. I always like watching the shot put, so I'm going to be tuning in very closely.
Yeah, go watch your competition, Jamal. All right, back to y'all.
All right, great to hear there from your 110-meter high hurdle champion, Jamal Britt. So he's laid out that time. We know what the tailwind is. We know what the time is. And now we want to know how the mystery is going to be solved, as we're once again joined again by Darrell Hill. Darrell, you've already figured out the math. What does Jordan Geist have to do to win $50,000?
Jordan Geist has to throw 22.48 meters, which would be a personal best for him, which would also push me further down the all-time list. But he's thrown 22.24 in round number 1, so he's in great form so far into this competition. That is an excellent start. I think that's the best start he's ever had in the competition. So he's well aware of what he needs to do today, and getting to 22.24 in round number 1 says we might be in for something big as this competition gets rolling.
So would you want him to get that and win that money, but knock you down the list?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Like,
who doesn't want to reset track history?
I'm just saying. I mean,
once you get out the sport, I just want to see the sport keeps moving forward. Jordan Geist, another Pennsylvania guy, right? So I want the legend of Pennsylvania throwers to continue to move on and on. We got Joe Kovacs, Ryan Whiting, myself, and now Jordan Geist. He's the youngest of the quartet. So I kind of want him to keep pushing along. I feel very good about what I've done. Right now, I want my guy to win $50,000. So I'm hoping for a 22.48 before we get out of here tonight.
50 grand, especially as a field eventer, I mean, that is a strong payday.
That's what I'm saying, and if he hears the way I'm talking about him right now, maybe I get a dinner out of all of this.
I was gonna say you're pitching
I think we
pitching
can
hard
be
for
invited
that.
too.
Yeah.
I listen. When I went to announcer school, they told me you're not allowed to be biased, but I can't help sometimes. Sometimes when I got a little Pennsylvania water in here, I like to speak fondly about him.
As long as I've been announcing, which ain't been that long, I've been extremely biased. People know this too, so be as biased as you want to.
Other things I want to talk about too while we got some shopping on the screen. Trip Piperi, he's been dealing with, he tore his left pec for the people at home, right? So it's non-dominant throwing side, but it is still a huge factor in everything you do in throwing. He's coming back. He just set his season's best, in round number 2 at 21.77, which is an excellent throw after throwing 21.70 at Prefontaine. So he's showing great form here today. This has been an excellent first 2 rounds of this comp for a lot of guys who've been struggling, but it seems like the Murphey Classic magic is helping these guys start to find their footing.
Yeah, you got Geist out there with that first throw of 22-24, and then, Piperi, Odortal, they kind of stepped up there in that second throw, throwing 21.77 and 21.17. So it's got some guys that are, on the heels there of Geist. He's got a little bit farther throw to make to hit that 22.48. But you're thinking that he's looking pretty good there after that 22-24.
I would think so. I've got my eyes on Roger Steen. He's got 2 fouls in the first 2 throws, so that's not the place you want to be in. But looking at this field and what everybody's been throwing this year, Roger Steen has been probably the most consistent outside of Jordan at a really high level. So if he can get thrown, that looks like a really nice throw for Nick Ponzio. But if he can get a throw in and make the finals and get rolling, that might provide the stimulus Jordan needs to help push him past that 22.48 mark.
Well, we'll wait to see how that goes as we get ready here for our women's 400 presented by the McInerney Family Foundation here. We're seeing our athletes there in lane 9. We saw Lena Jackson from the USA. In lane 8, Bailey Lear. In lane 7, Alexis Holmes. In lane 6, Sonaria Butler. In lane 5, Ella Onuduwavo. In lane 4, Brittany Wilson. See Wilson there. In lane 3, Shaquina Foot from Jamaica. In lane 2, Gabby Scott. And then in lane 1, representing Jamaica, Leah Anderson.
I am really excited to see how Ella O is going to do because we haven't seen her in so long. She opened up her outdoor season and ran that 49-47, and everybody was like, okay, we're looking at our future NCAA champion. I'm not sure if she got injured or what the case was, but she did not, I think, complete the rest of her season. So I think this is the first time we're seeing her in a while, and I'm excited. That 49.4 that she put up at that LSU meet earlier this year was absolutely amazing, and I'm just excited to see where she's going to take this race today.
Yeah, she's the national record holder for Nigeria. She set that in March at the NCAA indoor meet. And again, like it seems like after that, all of a sudden there was a race and then just kind of disappeared.
I know, but I'm excited for her. I think she's going to do well. Same thing for Leah Anderson, too. She is slowly but surely making her way to becoming top 3 for Jamaica in the 400 in terms of representing that team individually. But she's been on the up and up for a really long time. I admire her, just her endurance and the fact that she's able to stay the course.
Yeah, she ran her personal best at the Jamaican Championships last year of 50.78. She's coming in with a season best of 51.04. the St. John's University graduate. But again, like you mentioned, LO in there obviously has that credentials. We'll just have to see if that long break for her has paid off, or if she's still having to do some work there, the 2024 Paris Olympian.
Some of our other fastest women out here: Alexis Holmes, Britton Wilson, Scenario Butler, Lena Irby-Jackson, all women under 50 points. Most of them have ran 50-something this year or this past year, so I'm excited to see what they do. But I think Alexis Holmes has had a season best of 50.3 this year. She's getting really close to her personal best of 49.77, and with USA Championships around the corner, I think that she can earn herself a new personal best. So let's see how today goes.
It gets a lot of experience in these athletes on the track here. A lot of them on various 4x4 teams, 4x4 mixed teams, gold medalists at either World Athletics, Olympics, World Relays. So a lot of athletes here with a lot of international experience and some very good credentials. But again, keep an eye out in those middle lanes there, 5, 6, and 7.
And I would not be worried about Lena Irby-Jackson as well. If I'm not mistaken, she has one of the fastest 4x4 splits ever in history. So even though she's in lane 9, she's still in a good position to run something fast today.
So they're in the blocks there again. Anderson, Scott, Foot, Wilson, Onojuewo, Butler, Holmes, Lear, and Jackson. Women's 400. And we got a clean start here in our women's 400. Talk us through this here, Kate.
So the thing about the 400, you have really got to get out your first 50. If you are not planning to give it all you have that first 50 to 100 meters, you're setting yourself up for failure going through this 400. So we see a lot of women are already trying to make up the stagger. If I'm seeing on my screen correctly, Alexis is doing well. Britton is doing excellent. Ella is definitely in the mix as well. But Alexis Holmes is doing her best to stay strong coming through this turn. But it could be anybody's race. It's really around this last 100 to 150 meter where we really see who has the strongest finish. But it's looking like Alexis is going to take it home. But that's Ella Onojuewo all the way out in front. I think that break might have been excellent for her. If she continues to stay the course, this win might be hers. So let's see her bring it through the line. I believe that is going to be a 50.38 for Ella O. I think that is an excellent way to make your comeback after being gone for a while. Like I said, that girl ran 49.47 and she disappeared on us, but now she's back and she looks just as good as the day that she left.
And again, official time there, 50.38. Butler 50.69 and Holmes 50.94. It was just kind of her in the middle of the track and all the runners and almost kind of a V behind her as she came down that home stretch.
I'm
Looked
telling
beautiful.
you, it's the thing about the 400 is that it's so hard to have a really good race, and that's because it's really about race pattern. I'm telling you, if you do not set up your first 50 meters, like, you will not be able to perform the way that Ella is coming down this home stretch. You have to be willing to put it all out on the line, and if not, I mean, you could think about just going home at that point.
It was close there with about 150 to go, but certainly another gear there for LO as she comes down to win our women's 400 meters presented by McInerney Family Foundation. And just a great, powerful run there from her.
Yeah, LSU has been training up some really amazing sprinters this year. So Ella is definitely in great company, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do. And honestly, if you want to think about, you know, with World Ultimates coming up and this being an off year, even though she took that time off to not really complete this outdoor season for the NCAA for her, she still has, you know, a couple more opportunities to do really well, even though she missed out on an NCAA title.
And I think we have an update here from our men's shot put and some pretty interesting news here in a huge context. Darrell?
Jordan Geis has just set a personal best. I'm pregnant, pause. 22.44. Now he's still a couple centimeters shy. He has officially tied my personal best. So I'm sitting here sweating in my boots trying to see if I'm going to be holding on to my all-time spot. But he is feeling it.
He's so close.
He's feeling it.
He's so close.
He's feeling it. 22.44. That is a great throw, big-time personal best. The 22-24 was a tied personal best in round 1. So we got 3 throws left. So all the people paying attention at home, get your live results app. We'll try to find a stream here and make sure we show you some Jordan Geist, but 22-44 in round 3.
This is why I say people that say field events and distance events are fun, I really think they're not paying attention to everything. I mean, Darrell, just give us like a couple of things that you feel like make shot put or field events in general so much more exciting.
I think it's like you get an opportunity to let drama build. So we just watched the 400 meters, right? 60 seconds. Okay, it was a tough race. Okay, it happens fast. But in the field events, you get an opportunity to take a throw or a jump, and then you get another person gets a chance to compete. Then you come back, you get to do it again, and that kind of competition over time allows for a more dramatic build-up.
All right, we're going to head down to the track here and talk to our 400-meter champion, L.O.
All right, congratulations on your win today. What part of your race were you most satisfied with?
My finishing, because, yeah.
And what was it?
It was really good, because like everybody can run the 350. It just matter about the finishing, yeah.
And what do you want to go back to the drawing board on?
Drawing board as how?
As in, like, what do you want to work on?
Oh, I want to work on my finishing, because that's where the race starts. The beginning of the race is just how you execute and stay relaxed. The end of the race is the real deal.
And what's the next race for you? What's the next competition?
Commonwealth.
All right, well, congratulations and good luck at Commonwealth. Back to y'all.
All right, L.O. there, our champion of our women's 400, and we've got a very exciting men's 400 meters. And I tell you what, one of the just absolute amazing superstars of this sport in recent years, Quincy Wilson. Talk to us about him, Kate.
Oh, let me tell you something. I feel like this is just the greatest. You know what? I'm not going to say if he is. I'm going to say that Quincy Wilson is the greatest high school track and field athlete in history. He has done so many things, too many to count, but one of the most important things that he's been able to do is become the youngest Olympian, 16 years old, gold medal. Absolutely insane. I don't know any other 16-year-olds doing that, but then also just continuing to break records. He broke a record here last year, 44:10, so we're hoping that he's able to do that today, if not go even faster. But I think we're in for some super awesome competition. Like I told you guys, I've trained with Quincy for the past 2 years, and it's not just, something that you see, something that you get to experience when it comes to his nature in terms of really going out there, really getting after it, and setting his goals really high and going for it.
Yeah, he broke that world under 18 record running that time last year of 44:10, as you mentioned. So the rest of our field here, Randolph Ross will be in lane 1 from the USA. Elijah Godwin from the USA will be in lane 2. Javon O'Brien from the U.S. will be in lane 3. The infamous runner from Grenadine, Karani James, in lane 4. A historic athlete there for his country. Just an absolute beast in this sport. And then, as we mentioned, Quincy Wilson getting that preferred lane 5. We got Samuel Orgazi from Nigeria in lane 6. Antonio Watson from Jamaica in lane 7. Delano Kennedy from Jamaica in lane 8. And Gabriel Moranta from Dominican Republic in lane 9.
Now, here's the thing. I'm excited to see this race between Ogazi and between Wilson, because Ogazi's PR is 43.9, 43.8, somewhere around there. He is the NCAA champion, and he is young as well. So this is not a race that Quincy can afford to be cool on. This is not a race that he can afford to kind of feel it out and see, because I'm almost sure that Ogazi is going to go out there and give it all he has and continue to build upon that NCAA performance that he just had.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about everything that Wilson has done in his career and the records that he's set and the titles that he's won, especially at such a young age, you think of other athletes and other sports, what Kylian Mbappe has done in soccer, or what they call football, at such a young age, and he still continues to do. You see somebody like Quincy Wilson doing this stuff very young, but you also have a lot of experience in the rest of this field. You've got other national record holders for their countries. You've got other Pan American champions and Olympians and world championship medalists and athletes that are in this field. Gold medalists that are in this field, and relay teams and what have you, and participants that have run. While Quincy's run technically at Olympics, I mean, these athletes have been in multiple Olympic platforms, multiple world championships for their country, and so there's still. You would think that there's still a little bit to learn. Quincy's got a lot of confidence.
There's a lot to learn.
He's very confident. He's not cocky. He's a very confident athlete, and I've enjoyed my time speaking with him. But there's always going to still be something to learn when you're at that young age.
For sure, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing that, in terms of success is being a student of the game and being a student of the sport. So not even just Quincy, but somebody like Samuel as well. Again, some of the younger ones that are in this race that are looking to build upon some of the success that they've already had, they know that it's going to be important for them to really pay attention to these veterans and, get some racing experience and see what it's like to race against somebody who's 30-plus years old and has already earned all the medals.
Here we go. Ross, Godwin, O'Brien, James, Wilson, Ogazi, Watson, Kennedy, and Maranta.
As I talked about before, those first 50 meters are going to be absolutely crucial, especially for the young ones like Quincy and Ogazi. We've got Randolph Ross on our screen as well, who is looking to definitely make his comeback. He just got back into the sport last year. So as we're coming through this back turn or this back straight, we're definitely a little bit even. So let's wait a little bit longer and see who's going to be strong enough to take it through the turn.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be who's got that extra gear here in the final 150. So get ready to come off this final turn and down into this straightaway. They're coming past us.
Looks like Ogazi all the way out in front. I told you he is absolutely building upon that NCAA performance. He has got so much in him to be able to take this win, and he does take it to the line. Let's see what the official time is.
Got a little bit of a challenge there from Watson on his outside.
44.57. I think that's a great race. He's had a really long NCAA season, and so the fact that he was just able to come out here and win, I think that's super big for him.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get close to that season best when he ran a national record there, but still a great time there for Ogazi. Watson, again, as we saw, running a season best 44.70, gave him a little bit of a challenge at the end, and then the veteran Karani James slips up into third, 45.04. And then we unfortunately kind of look down that list and we see Wilson already all the way down in seventh. So again, as we said, still some learning to do.
You definitely
for the
still
young
got
man.
some learning to do, but like I said, Ogazi is young as well and did not let the heat of his competitors take over. So super excited for him and his future, especially in that Adidas kit.
Yeah, I mean, if you also kind of look at it, I mean, for essentially a graduating high school athlete, I mean, he's been traveling around a lot, Wilson, racing all over the place.
I mean, and let's even take a look at what happened New Balance week. He decided to go out and bid for U20s, which was a smart idea because, with World Ultimates up this year, we know that it's all about rank. Whether you place at USA's or not doesn't matter. You must be top 16 in the world. And with him racing in high school meets all year, we knew that wasn't going to happen. So he saw his future in becoming a U20 world champion, decided to go out to Oregon, qualify for the team. He did, unfortunately, end up losing to Jaden DeLeon, and that was a whole big thing for indoor nationals New Balance, where Quincy was able to win. But now his eyes are set and focused on the U20 championships that are going to happen next month. And then, later that week, he flew out to Philly, and he finished up his last race with Bullets in the 4x4, and unfortunately, we did not end up winning that race. But even still, just deciding to put your, like I said, put yourself on the line for your teammates, and for yourself, absolutely crazy.
We're going to take it down to the track there and speak with Ogazi, our champion, men's 400.
All right, Samuel. First of all, love the new uni. You dropped the Alabama one to go professional with Adidas. As your first professional race, how are you feeling about the way you executed it out here?
I can't complain. It's been a month and some days since I ran last, so I'm just trying to get the race sharpness. But I believe it's coming, so I can't complain.
And 43.3 as your fastest, absolutely insane. Do you feel like you constantly have to keep competing at that level?
I mean, I just want to win. I don't really care about the time, just winning. Yeah.
And that's the way to think, and you're a winner. All right, back to y'all.
So great to talk to Ogazi there, your champion of your men's 400 meters. And again, just to kind of follow up, when I really think about it, Wilson's travels, I mean, like I said, out to Oregon, out to Philly, back home to probably train a little bit, here for this meet. He's going to be heading back out to Eugene again. I mean, you hope at some point in time.
And even possibly maybe run USA's, who knows?
Yeah, who knows, maybe run USA. So at some point, it's going to catch up with the young man there, as we're also continue to take a look at our men's shot put, and all eyes there on Geist to see if he can hit that 22:48 mark there. Getting any closer, or we're still at that 22:44?
Well, they haven't gotten to the fourth round yet. So
okay. Is that the magic round for Geist?
Round 5 is typically the best round because you got the first 3 rounds, so you're in the typical order. So the way they've done it at the Murphey Classic here is the best athletes have led off the competition. So if you can imagine, in round number 3, Jordan Geist throws first. Everybody else gets to throw. Then they reorder for the finals, and he's all the way at the back of the order. So I'm not saying I'm not anticipating them throw far in round 4, but round 5 is typically that round where you get that competitive momentum back and you're building into it. So rounds 5 and 6 is where I expect the fireworks to be, but he'll be coming up here shortly, and we'll see what he's got.
Do you want to try to, would you want to try to save it for that 6th throw, or is it more like get it out of the way in that 5th, and then, you know what, you can almost kind of overextend in that 6th and just realize I've already got it, maybe overextend and see if maybe I can just try to pop that, even extra throw out.
The best throwers in the world always take every throw one throw at a time. So, like, if you saw 22-24 in round number 1, Jordan Geist was going for it from the get-go. So if it's up to him, he'd get it done right here. He's on our screen right now, stepping in the ring for round number 4, Jordan Geist. So we'll see what he's got here.
Camera didn't stay on him that long, but from what you saw, what do you think how that looked?
That looks pretty smooth. That looks like another throw 21 high out towards that 22-meter mark. We'll see what we get here when the live results come up, but that's what I thought I'd see, right? Okay, we had a little bit of a break between rounds 3 and 4. Let's make sure that I keep my rhythm going. 22:04 in round number 4. So saying that, a rhythm throw for Jordan right now is 22:04, that lets me know he's still in it. He hasn't lost any steam. So building into that round 5, like I talked about, I'm excited to see what he can put together.
Well, I suspect, you would assume that the audience over there knows what he needs to throw.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we're probably expecting to hear a very loud roar before we even see the results, if in fact that does happen. But you can see in our other screen there, we are getting ready for our Ed sub-4 mile attempt. So for folks that don't really know a whole lot about track and field, if you're just kind of watching in, running a sub-4 mile is kind of like the pinnacle for all distance runners, middle distance / distance runners. Sub-4 mile barrier was something that was broken about basically 60 years ago by Sir Roger Bannister. And ever since then, that's been kind of like the pinpoint for distance runners to break that sub-4 mile barrier. And tonight we're going to try to do that for our audience here. And we've got some very interesting athletes involved in this event. Wearing bib number 1, Joel Gomez. He's attempting to be the first legally blind man to break 4 minutes in the mile. He's also competed at the 2020 and 2024 Summer Paralympics and set a new American record in the men's 1,500 meters in the T3 category at the 2024 Paralympics, where he finished 7th place. So we're wishing the best of luck there for Joel for that attempt, not only to break 4, but to be the first legally blind man to do so. Wearing hip number 2, Nate Tucker from Canada. He's also a Paralympian for Team Canada and is coming in with a season best of 3:56 for 1,500 meters, which is about a 4:10, 4:11 mile. Bradley Mkuvier from Zimbabwe is also in this field wearing hip number 3. Ben Green, former Oregon Duck, run 3:41 for 1,500 meters, which is pretty close to a 4-minute mile. And then, of course, taking things out, we see he just doesn't seem to go away there. Craig Ingles is going to be our pacer here, multinational champion in the 1,500 mile.
You got Donovan out there too, right?
Yeah. So
that's Donovan Brazier,
That's
guys.
Donovan Brazier. So we have another masked man out there. Donovan Brazier and Craig Ingles decided to have a little bit of fun and extend the party. We didn't even know that until all of a sudden we saw them coming close to us. But that is your champion there in the 800, Donovan Brazier, followed by Craig Ingles, taking out these athletes in the first lap of this mile. It'll be interesting to see how far Angles and Brazier goes. And 50, so they're running a mile. Now a mile, they started about 9 or 10 yards behind the start line to make up the mile distance, which is it was 4 laps plus about 9 meters. So they probably came through right around low 59 at what is considered the 440-yard mark, which is more of 1/4 of a mile than 400 meters. 400 meters is a little bit shorter. So they're still looking strong here with Angles, and there's Brazier out in front.
This has to be a killer workout, though, right? I've seen a lot of distance runners run their actual race and then not too much later go out and decide to pace another distance race. So is that normal with you guys? Like, what's that all about?
I haven't done that too much, but I have done a pretty solid workouts after a race. So that's Gomez in third there, just behind our 2 Rabbits, and Green right behind him. So again, Joel Gomez, one of our legally blind athletes, trying to break sub-4. So that was about 2 flat through halfway, through 880 yards. So they're right on that pace. I mean, if they can maintain that, it's always this third lap that tends to kind of slow down a little bit. So it'll be really up to, you can see Angles there looking over his shoulder, just making sure that Gomez and at least Green are still on his shoulder. So Brazier pawing off this nice 1,000-meter workout there for Brazier after his 800-meter workout. And we'll see how far Angles wants to take Green and Gomez. And so he might be going all the way to 3 laps here. Angles really wanted to help push Gomez here. When Angles shows up at a meet, he gives everything.
And he always had the blast while doing it. Like you said, he is an absolute fan favorite. So seeing him do his race, come out here, help pace Joel to a sub-4 mile, I mean, how can you hate this guy?
So they slowed down a little bit, which kind of made that move for Green to go with Angles. So they kind of came through probably about 3:02. So Green is going to need a very fast last lap to break 4 minutes. And unfortunately, at this point, Joel Gomez now is kind of left out all on his own. And it's interesting, Angles is still going. I would imagine at some point he's going to be modest and just kind of step aside and not try to just win the race, but I guess we will see. I mean, again, he's still more looking over his shoulder to make, to kind of encourage Green to keep pushing. Gomez there about now 20 to 25 meters behind. Angles pulls off the track. So it's all now Ben Green, the Oregon Duck. And he's going into the final turn here. It's going to take a heck of a lot here to break 4. It's probably going to be more close to right around 4:04, 4:05. Gomez also getting ready to come out of that turn. But it's Ben Green down the home stretch here to take our Ed Murphy sub-4 mile attempt. It won't be a sub-4, but it'll be a very fine mile there. 4:04, 4:05 unofficially. His time 4:05.25 for Ben Green. Very valiant effort. He's still going to get the champagne. He may say to himself, no, I don't want it. I don't know. He may not want it. You're going to shake it and pop that cork? There he goes. You got to celebrate. You still won. There you go. Good man. Good man. So tough. I mean, it was a small field. Brazier and Angles took him out. They probably wanted, ideally, to go out 59 and then maybe a 158 to low 159. So as soon as it came through right around 2 minutes, that was that first 61 that probably got them off that pace. That unfortunately will set up that third lap to probably be that more 62, 63. And once you're kind of off that pace, you almost need a real race in that last lap. And there wasn't really a race. It was just Green trying to hold on to Angles for a while, Angles pulling off, and then it was just all Green fighting himself and the clock.
Yeah. And we talk about that a lot, even in the sprint events. I mean, setting up rhythm and setting up pace is extremely important. And the minute that you're kind of off of it, it's really hard to get that back unless you're in a really tight racing situation. Like there's nothing else for you to do but put everything on the line.
And it looks like we are going to take another quick break. And then we'll come back and wrap things up here at the Ed Murphy Classic.
In 1965, Alton Bleakley shook hands on his first Ford in downtown Somerset. 6 decades later, we're still here, family-owned, community-rooted. It's not just the cars that kept us going, it's the people. Faces you know, names you trust. For decades, they've been part of your story, just like you've been part of ours. Celebrate 60 years of commitment, community, and care. Alton Blakely Ford, still Somerset's own, still all the best.
Shot puts in round 6. All right, we are back here on the track at the 2026 Ed Murphy Classic. We just got a report from Darrell Hill here that we are in round 6 here of the shot put. And this would be the time for guys to really get that throw out, set another personal best. He's still sitting at that 22:44 mark. He's got one more shot.
He's got one more. Before we even get to talking about Jordan Geis, I want to talk about the rest of the field.
Yes.
Because this competition has been very good. Top 5 people in the competition, season's best or personal best. Peyton Otterdahl was just in the ring. His season best coming in was 20:55. He's thrown 21:76 today, right? So these guys are really down here. The energy is high. They're throwing really far. But yes, Jordan Geis in the lead, round 5, 22:42 with one more attempt to go. You talked about the round 6 magic here at the Ed Murphy Classic. We'll see if he calls for some crowd help, but one more throw to get him about 4 or 5 more centimeters for $50,000.
Well, that is definitely one good payday for one good throw. And so we wish him definitely the best of luck there in doing that, not only for him, but for this crowd and, hey, for all shot putters.
Hey,
right?
for all shot putters, we need it, man. Listen,
putters.
I love Jamal Britt. He is having a fantastic season. But if you couldn't tell at home, I am secretly pulling for the field eventer to get a couple extra dollars. That's Uzio Munoz. He's the Mexican national record holder. He's having another great day, season's best as well, 21:46, another throw over 70 feet. So we've got 6 70-footers at home. Tripper Perry stepping in the ring, trying to hold on to his second place position. He's in there about 1 centimeter over top of Peyton Otterdahl, 21:77 on the day for round number 6 for Tripper Perry.
And we just have a few more running events left for you tonight. We've got a couple of amazing 100-meter races that are going to be coming up here very soon as we continue to keep eyes out here on our men's shot put. And it looks like up next in the ring is that aforementioned 6th and final throw here from Geis. So let's keep an eye on how this ends up going. And this is a very, very important throw.
Very cool moment, Jordan Geis stepping in the ring, knowing he needs have another good throw. He's having a day of his life right now, 22:44, 22:42. 22:48 is the number. Let's see if he can get it done. It looks big.
It looked pretty good
there. It looks
there.
big. It looks like it's out over that 22-meter
It's definitely
line.
over 22.
It's definitely over.
Oh, foul!
We just saw the foul come up right when the camera cut
Jesus.
away.
And that's the tough part, right? When you know you need those extra centimeters, so you're really trying to get your hips all the way into the toe board to give it everything you got, right?
Okay, I was going to say, can we just measure it just to see what he
Just
did?
for fun. Just
I
for
know.
fun.
I'm wondering, man. So that seals it. Jamal Britt has won the USATF Tour in the 110-meter hurdles, $50,000 celebration for him. Jordan Geis falls into the faint second place, but an awesome day, 22:44 to tie me on the all-time list. He's the second thrower this year to tie me. So I stay safe right now because nobody's at 45, but shout out to Jordan Geis for a great day.
Yeah, that was too bad, but again, yeah, big shout out to Britain and taking that title home. And unfortunately, nothing for second place.
Nothing for second place.
One and done. But as we see our athletes now coming out onto the track here for our next event, the Raymond James Pro Women's 100 meters, we'll see in lane 1 from the USA, Jasmine Montgomery. In lane 2 from Nigeria, Rosemary Chukwuma. In lane 3 from Jamaica, Kimba Nelson. In lane 4, Jasani Carter from the U.S. In lane 5, Mackenzie Long from the U.S. In lane 6, representing Jamaica, Sabrina Dockery. In lane 7, from the United States, Tamara Davis. In lane 8, Kayla Jackson from the USA. And in lane 9, from Liberia, Thelma Davies.
I'm excited to see how Sabrina's going to do. She's only 19 years old, but has already ran 10.9 and I believe 22.6. Even though she is very young, she has been absolutely killing the game so far. So I want to see just how great she's going to do up against some amazing competition like Mackenzie Long and Jasmine Montgomery.
Yeah, also coming in with a really good season best there, Tamari Davis from the U.S. her personal best was set about 4 years ago, but came out strong this year and finally got that time down underneath 11 seconds there, running 10:99. And then we also got to keep it, like you said, on Carter there in lane 4. Ran her PB just last May in the NCAA East Regional Championships, and then anchored that USC 4x100 meter team to the national title at the NCAA Championships in Eugene just last month. So she's definitely one to look at as well. Nelson ran a 10:88. It was a wind-aided 10:88 coming off that victory in the Doha meeting last month. But they're still going to give her some confidence. And Chukwuma in lane 2 coming in with a 10:95. Remember that Nigerian team that set their national record in the 4x1 at the 2022 World Champs, recent Texas Tech grad. So we got a great field here in our women's Raymond James Pro 100 meters.
I'm excited to see just how great Kimba's going to do. Like you said, she just ran a 10.8 about a month and some change ago, and she's been taking a while to build back her confidence. She was absolutely amazing when she was at Oregon, did really great on Jamaica's relay in 2022 at the World Championships, but she kind of fell off for a little bit. But she's been extremely persistent, and we can see with that 10.8 she just ran, that persistency pays off.
And you see them behind the blocks there, just getting ready to get called in. Again, Montgomery going from lane 1 to 9. Montgomery, Chukwuma, Nelson, Carter, Long, Dockery, Davis, Jackson, and Davies. Raymond James, women's 100 meters.
We're looking for big splits and fast starts, but everybody is even. But Kimba Nelson had an amazing start. She might take this all the way. She's going to have a little bit of competition, but I think this might be all Kimba Nelson to the line. I think she just ran something really fast. Let us see what the time is. 10:89. Tamari Davis, it seems like, but Kimba Nelson right behind her, 10:91. That was a fast and amazing race. I'm excited to see that Tamari ran that fast as well, because she's definitely somebody that you cannot count out of a 100-meter dash.
Yeah, Tamari Davis there, 10:89. Kimba Nelson, 10:91. Mackenzie Long in 10:95, a 2.1 tailwind. So not as much of a tailwind as we had earlier in those 200s, but still some very fast times there from Davis, Nelson, and Long. And again, Davis with a lot of that experience for so many years, and then again coming back after kind of a hiatus from some of those sub 11-second times there. Not only runs 10:99 earlier this season, but comes out today and runs 10:89. And we'll take a look back at that race.
Yeah, and that start from Kimba Nelson was absolutely amazing. I haven't seen her start that well in so long, and you can see her taking it out. But Tamari Davis, somebody who looks so cool and calm, taking it to the line to the point to where I didn't even notice that she was the person who got first place and was able to walk Kimba down. So this was an excellent race from the both of them. Tamari seems extremely happy, and I'm excited to see how the rest of her season goes.
Yeah, definitely things looking up there for you. Again, Tamari Davis, United States, Kimba Nelson, Jamaica, Mackenzie Long, United States. Your top 3 here in the Raymond James Women's Pro 100 meters. And we've got one more race to go here on the track, and that is going to be our McDonald Family Foundation Pro Men's 100 meters. What are you looking forward to here in our final track race of the evening?
This is going to be another amazing race. I'm super excited to see Courtney Lindsay. Courtney has been killing the game since Texas Tech, and it's been really interesting to see his progression, because he's always been able to just make something shake. Every time you think not to count him into something, he's like, hey guys, wait, let me make sure I can show you that I'm one of the top 5 fastest men in the world, either in the 100 or the 200. So watching Courtney is going to be amazing. Same thing for Brandon Hicklin. He is in Courtney's group, so I know that they're training very well together and they can produce something very fast. But also Ronnie Baker, because this man, a couple of years ago, he was a part of, the USA men really doing something amazing when it came to the 100-meter dash, especially at the last Olympics. So I'm excited to see him run well.
And we're taking a look at Ruth Usoro, your current leader there from Nigeria. She jumped a season best 6:36 in her first attempt, and then a 6:76 in her third. So that was her sixth and no, that was looks like her fifth attempt, and that was a foul for her. But she's got a nice strong lead out there. 6:76, again a season best there for Usoro from Nigeria in our women's long jump presented by First Horizon. All of our jumpers now, looks like they've gone through all of their fifth jumps here, so it looks like they're going to be going into their sixth and final round here. So first up here, Kiana Davis, currently sitting seventh with a jump of 6:10. Will have her first sixth attempt here to see if she can improve on her current standing. That is a season best at 6:10, but currently only has her in seventh place right now.
Ruth Usoro, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I was about to say I've been paying attention to this just because where we're sitting for the people at home with the runway right over here, and I see a big smile on Ruth Usoro. She's having a really good day, about a 20-centimeter season's best on the day. Made the full-time transition to the long jump after she finished up at college. She was an NCAA champion 2 times in the triple jump. So like Marquise Dendy, you know, the triple jump is hard on the body, a lot of pounding on the knees. So sometimes you see athletes make that transition full-time to the long jump if they've got the ability to do both, and it's been doing really well for Ruth. She just got 10th place at the last Olympics out in Tokyo after not being able to compete back in Paris after not being able to compete in Tokyo. But having a good day here. Let's see what she's got in round number 6.
Yeah, I used to think the steeplechase was tough on legs until you watch the triple jump, and that's tough on the legs.
But triple jump is a very beautiful event to watch, though. I cannot lie to you.
Yes.
The triple jump here today was crazy. We didn't get a chance to really talk about it, but Jordan Russell, defending Murphey Classic champion, got out to 1750 plus, win legal, right? Nobody in America had gone over 17 meters this year. He was only coming in with a season's best of 1668, but coming here on this runway that he's very familiar with after winning last year, getting out over 1750 to put that, I'm not sure where that ranks in the world right now, but I know it's one of the top 5 jumps in the world. But 1750, big time personal best, huge season's best on the day, but it's been a good time for the jumpers out here at Murphey Classic.
So as we get ready to kind of wrap things up here with a couple more events still to come and still underway here in our women's long jump and our men's 100 meters, I wanted to talk about tomorrow night because this Ed Murphy Classic does not stop tonight. Tomorrow night will be the Beale Street Meet. It's been going on now for several years, with the first one starting out with just a pole vault competition, a street meet with just a pole vault competition. And then over the years, road miles have been eventually brought in to add to the program. And tomorrow night, we will see the addition of the men's shot put after having partnered with Olympian Ryan Krauser and his World Shot Put Series. But unlike a traditional shot put, Darrell, this event, instead of just whoever throws the farthest wins, athletes will actually have prize money incentives for how far they end up throwing. So, for instance, if somebody, say, throws 73 feet, you get like a $2,000 bonus. But if you throw 75 feet, that doubles to $4,000. So that's quite an interesting concept with this shot put.
It's going to be a good one. Shout out to Ed Murphy for putting this on, first and foremost. I've had the pleasure of being here since the inception of this meet back in 2021, and it's grown every single year. And the Beale Street events have always been a spectacle for the people to come out and watch. And the World Shot Put Series put on by Ryan Krauser is going to be another really exciting thing for him to do when he gets here. I'm excited to talk to him tomorrow. If you love my voice, tune in tomorrow. But World Shot Put Series, more of a King of the Ring style, not a true, who throws the furthest, but they'll be going at different lines, almost like the high jump. It's going to be a blast.
The refs, they're going to get the officials out there are going to be dressed like referees. Yep. It's going to be quite a spectacle. Please come out there tomorrow night on Beale Street there in downtown Memphis. We also got mile races as well that are going to be going on. So it's going to be an absolutely great event as we continue the party tomorrow. But next up here is our McDonald Family Foundation Pro Men's 100 meters. But first, we're going to take a look with our women's winner in the 100 meters.
All right, Tamari, congratulations on your race today. She sees herself on the Jumbotron. All right, but we have to talk about your execution. According to what you decided with your coach, would you say you executed it more or less how you all talked about it?
I definitely executed more, just being aggressive and violent and trusting myself and having my confidence back. And I just carried that throughout the whole race, and I won.
And we were just talking about it right before we started. You train with Altus now. How is that training group? You have Jenna Prandini in the group, Kenny Harrison, top-notch athletes.
It's amazing. You know, it was a great change for me this year, and I'm really enjoying it and just having fun and starting to enjoy track again. So I love it.
And how does this propel you for USA trials?
Yeah, so after this meet, I know for sure, like, I'm in great shape and ready to PB.
Love it, love it. All right, y'all, back to you.
All right, congratulations there, Tamari Davis, your women's Raymond James 100-meter champion. As we get ready to move into our men's 100 meters in lane 1, we will have Nigel Green, the fastest man in New York City, and apparently definitely has the best dance moves.
Oh,
that's the rumor.
He has the best dance moves.
He's got the moves?
I don't know any other track dancer that can do it better than him, but something that I really respect about him is his commitment to having confidence. Let me tell you something about this. He's on Instagram. He's like, listen, if you say it's next month, I am coming for Noah Lyles. And that's not an easy thing to say, but I got to respect somebody who is willing to put in the energy and the effort to hopefully get to that place. And so we'll see how he does out here today.
In lane 2, we've got Eloy Benitez from Puerto Rico. In lane 3, Ronnie Baker from the USA. In lane 4, Kadrian Goldson from Jamaica. In lane 5 from the USA, Courtney Lindsay. In lane 7 from South Africa, Neo Mosibi. In lane 8 from the USA, Pajai Austin. And in lane 9 from the USA, Brandon Hicklin. So who are your favorites in here in this race?
So
Kate?
I'm going to have to pick Ronnie as one of my favorites, mainly just because he's been in the game for so long, and I really trust that he knows how to put a race together under pressure. And I think another person that I'll pick for one of my favorites is Courtney Lindsay. I'm telling you, when it comes to this kid, he always has a way of pulling out another trick out of his hat just to show how great he really is. So I got Ronnie and Courtney as my top 2. What about you?
Courtney coming in with that 989. Anytime you see that 8 in that second digit, I mean, you got to give mad
But
respect.
it's the fact that he's able to continuously do it, though. You know what I'm saying?
He's ranked number 3 in the U.S. so far this year, so he's definitely got a lot behind him. But I definitely think that. And then I'd keep an eye there from Jamaica's Lavelle there in lane 6. So definitely, my picks are Lindsay and Lavelle. So here we go. Green, Benitez, Baker, Goldson, Lindsay, Mosibi, Austin, and Hicklin. Looks like Lavelle's scratched.
We won big splits. We had a little bit of a stumble from Courtney, I believe, so we're going to call it back.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. He definitely looked like he was the one that jumped.
I
so
know. Let's see
that.
what cards we get out here. They're about to deliberate pretty soon.
We do play by the international rules here. If it's a single athlete that jumps, they can get a red card, similar to soccer. You are out.
I know, but
if it's the field, it's a green card. It's a warning to the whole field. With anytime anybody falses after that, then that person will automatically get a red no matter what.
They're going back to the computer now to
take a look.
But
you can see the officials there over on the right side of the screen conferring to decide what is going to be done, and we hope for Lindsay's sake they see a green card, and they usually keep it pretty tight there.
Might be red in his hand. We'll see what he throws up though.
So it's not for Lindsay though.
It's for Baker.
It's for Ronnie Baker there in lane 3.
Wow.
With the red. So more than likely, as athletes do in these modern times, they run under protest. So they won't be given an official time. They won't be considered in the finishing results. But they'll be able to still come out, perform, figure out where they're at, see what's going right, and at least not come here for nothing.
Reps absolutely matter. I mean, obviously times and ranking and points and all those things matter, but at the end of the day, like, you don't train for nothing. So if there is an opportunity to kind of see where you're at, I mean, take it, and then, you know, whatever other consequences come after that, you kind of just take it to the chin.
How recent is did you see that rule kind of implemented? Because I've only really noticed it over the last few years. But how long has that rule been kind of going on?
About the .0 thing? Or
well, no, running under protest, being able to continue to run under protest.
I think most recently I started paying more attention to it.
Yeah, same.
When Noah Lyles did it at Milrose Games a couple
Yeah,
of years
that's
ago.
when I think really that hit the big stage.
I think more people were like, listen, because even one of my kids at Bullets, he did it at the New Balance Championships. He false started very clearly, but he still ran just to see where he was. So.
But like at the, we've seen in the Olympics in years, Olympics way long ago, was when somebody got red carded, they just walked off. I mean, that was it. They were done.
But I mean, as you get older in the sport, you learn that opportunity is important. So we'll see how well Ronnie does, even though he won't have a time under his belt.
Well, we'll do this again. Green, our list here: Green, Benitez, Baker, Goldson, Lindsay, Mosibi, Austin, and Hicklin. And again, Baker in lane 3 running under protest, won't be given an official time.
Again, we want to pay attention to fast starts, who's able to have better drives, but it looks like Courtney is about to take control of this race. I mean, not too many people are giving him competition, but it's not
Looked
Courtney.
On the inside there.
Who is that going to be?
That was Goldson.
Wow.
Ryan Goldson there from Jamaica, 9.89. Personal best for Goldson.
And it was legal. What are the legal times today?
Wow, 1.9 just underneath there. So that is a very solid time there. Not quite the meet record of 9.85 set by Marvin Bracey, but still an amazing time there and a legal time.
And it seems that we do have a time for Ronnie Baker. I'm sure when all the results populate, he might end up to being DQ. But 9.93 I think is still really great considering what just happened. A lot of people tend to stress when they get those cars and when they see false starts happen. It's really hard to lock back in and dial in. But to get second place in a run 9.93, I think that's still a pretty awesome job.
When we get a chance to look at the replay, I want you to talk about Lindsay's start there, because it seemed like he was almost kind of like stumbling to get his form up. Like he was a little too low here. You can see him when he comes out of the blocks there. Almost kind of fighting there in the first 5 meters. I noticed that.
So it's actually so interesting because I love looking at Courtney's start, and so if you notice who he trains with Kenny and he trains with Melissa.
Okay.
If you pay attention to Kenny and Melissa when they compete, they have the exact same starts, and it's crazy. So it's unfortunate that it didn't necessarily work out for him today. He did stumble a little bit, but yeah, they have the same starts. It's kind of crazy. It's a little freaky.
Yeah, you'll see that. It just looked like almost like he's almost kind of fighting and staying really low, but it's just a nice slow progression. Seeing it now, but like the third time, it looks better than when I saw it live.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think that's the Dennis Mitchell special. I think that's how they train down there. But I think if Courtney would have had a better start, this would have been a little bit of a different story. But
look at Baker there with his kid.
Oh, yes, so cute.
But Goldson, congratulations there.
We must give him his flowers. He did a really awesome job today. He did not let, false start and, Courtney having a really great start get to him. He was able to execute his race and come out with a win today. One of the very few, like I said, win legal times of the day.
So we're going to take a look at the women's long jump here. That just wrapped up as well, which officially wraps up our event. And Darrell, we're going to get a little update here on the final standings of our women's long jump.
So Ruth Usoro with that 676 season's best jump at round number 3. She was able to hold on to the victory, holding off of a charge from Tyra Gittin-Spottsville, sporting a new double hyphenated name. So congratulations on her marriage. 670 in round 6 to move up her best second mark on the day. But Ruth Usoro will finish with the win, 676 for her season's best in round 3.
So as we look back on, so you see Jamal Britt getting his $50,000 check there.
50,000 reasons to smile today if he didn't already have one.
Ed Murphy there to his right on the left of the screen, your president of the track event there, Max Paquette, meet director, handing Jamal Britt his $50,000 check. I wonder if what bank in town might be able to take him up on cashing that check here. We'll have to see there. Maybe a First Horizon. We'll see.
I would be demanding $1 from everyone in the stadium before I walk out to cash that check.
So as we take a look back at the day, Kate, tell us what your highlight of the day was.
I think my highlight of the day was seeing Donovan Brazier win today. I'm telling you, he's definitely one of my favorite athletes. And I just want to see how well he's going to do. Hopefully, we'll see him at World Ultimate Championships. But, yeah, that's definitely my highlight of the day. That 144 looked so smooth, and I'm excited to see just how well he's going to do possibly at USA's or any other meets that he has moving forward.
Darrell, what's your highlight moment of the day?
I talked a lot about the triple jump and how excited that competition was, but in true fashion, as you can imagine, I'm going to have to give it to Jordan Geis. 22.44 for, I think it's the third furthest throw in the world, tied for second with Virginia Campbell, who's also competed here before. But 22.44, great performance. The field was fantastic with the drama and the build-up, right, knowing what he had to do to be able to put a personal best under those circumstances. That's my highlight for today.
I would have to say mine is undoubtedly seeing Craig Engels. He just seems to put a smile on everybody's face, whether it's the audience, whether it's the athletes, whether it's at the after party that I'm sure we will see him at either tonight or tomorrow, more likely tomorrow. But always a great opportunity to see somebody like Craig who comes to these meets selflessly and just offers his assistant, whether it be rabbiting, whether it be to perform, whether it to be hang out with the kids, whether it just to be to help the event and help the sport. And so I always love enjoying seeing people like that out at the event. But we've had a spectacular first day here at the Ed Murphey Classic, and that wraps things up here. And we are just so thrilled you were able to join us this evening. It sure has been an exciting day here at the 2026 Ed Murphey Classic here on the campus of the University of Memphis. As we see some of the amazing highlights from today when it was a lot warmer, and popping that champagne all day long for all of our winners and even some meet record holders here. And we had a little bit of wind, but we still had some amazing times. And the party does not stop today. Tomorrow night, again, be sure to tune in for day 2 when we take over Beale Street in downtown Memphis for our street meet, featuring road miles, pole vaulters, and some of the best shot put throwers in the world. On behalf of Caitlin Hutchinson, Darrell Hill, the entire production team here, and myself, Mark Davis, thank you so much again for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow night for day 2 of the Ed Murphey Classic.
It's fast.